Hey everybody, Private Benji here, and today going to showcase some USS Arizona gameplay provided so generously by Excealed from the World of Warships gameplay website. Some information about the USS Arizona. It's currently a premium Tier 6 battleship, and fortunately for us, Wargaming was nice enough to provide it as a premium in the game because what makes this ship famous was it was destroyed at Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941, when 10 Nakajima B-5N torpedo bombers dropped 16.1-inch armor-piercing shells, which were modified into 1,700-pound bombs. Now, the aircraft did score 4 hits on the Arizona, with 3 of them not causing substantial damage, but it's believed that the 4th bomb struck somewhere midship. You know, some saying, the rear port of the 5-inch anti-aircraft gun, and other ones saying right behind turret number 2. Now, there isn't much evidence, currently, actually, there never was much evidence of where that bomb exactly struck, but it's believed that it did cause a cataclysmic explosion behind turret number 2, and that actually ended up ripping the ship in half. So, what is the Arizona? How is the Arizona comparable to the New Mexico? Well, of course, premium ship. So you're going to earn a lot more silver and also quite a bit more experience with the ship. So, going over the stats a little bit, the Arizona does have slightly better gun accuracy and surface detection range, but that doesn't really matter once you fire your guns anyways. Uh, while the New Mexico has slightly better torpedo protection and better AA defense. Both have the same amount of 14-inch guns, both have the same secondary gun batteries, and both have the same top speed of 21 knots. So as you guys just saw, Excealed fired off his first salvo from the Arizona. When I first looked at the replay, I thought I was like, oh man, this guy's got this cruiser in the bag already at the beginning of the match, but apparently every single one missed, and that's quite a shame. And he's keeping his head on a swivel. You can see actually a Bismarck popping in and out over there. You see, he appeared, then disappeared. But he's going to reappear. He's actually the first set of salvo actually came off that Bismarck and damaged him there. And looks like he's going to maybe go after the Nuremberg. I think that was the first ship that he fired at first. But he does have a Bismarck within his sights. And as it goes, you don't want to be exposing an entire broadside to another battleship when you are a battleship, because you have a higher chance of getting citadeled from that range. Not only that, the Arizona doesn't have the best armor, so you don't want to be broadside against Congos, Fusos, or even the Mutsus. And that was a pretty good dodge or a very bad miscalculation by the Bismarck there. He could have gotten a decent shot off on the front end of the Arizona. So with the Arizona, it's built basically on the same design as the New Mexico. It's a Pennsylvania class battleship, which also shares with like the USS Texas, Tier 5 battleships. But the main difference is, you got your turrets, you got super firing turrets on the front and rear. You don't have a fifth turret right in the middle. And I actually like this design a little better because that fifth turret doesn't actually rotate all the way around like you would want to. So you're going to expose a lot more of your broadside to the enemy when you're, especially in close quarters battles. So looks like he's got a Fuso there. Fuso definitely not as well armored as the Arizona, of course. Let's see what kind of shot he hit, and he got 5 on there. Pretty decent amount of hits. 1 bounce and 1 over penetrated. But one of the good things about the Arizona, with the design of the Pennsylvania class, the United States Navy was doing an all or nothing design. So basically, places where it needed armor, that's where they put all the armor, like the citadels and the turrets. Oh, and another enemy Fuso. Is he going to eat a torpedo? That's the other question. But going back onto the design of the battleship, the all or nothing design of, like I was talking about, was the citadels got all the armor, whereas the fore end and aft of the ship, the front and rear, the bow and the stern, they didn't have as much armor on them. because they just didn't think that it was really worth it. Now that design aspect actually came from back in the late 1900s. I mean, late 1800s. Excuse me. And that was one of the reasons. Oh, big hit on the North Carolina there with 2 citadels. And that's why you don't sail broadside against another battleship. And if this was Mighty Jingles, he'd be saying, and that's a paddling. But I digress. So yeah, the all or nothing. Tons of armor where it needed to be. A lot less armor where you really didn't need it to be. For instance, you know, the bow, which is the front of the ship. Oh, and he kind of donked that last shot off towards the the cruiser. It looks like he's going to be only have his rear turrets. Oh, there he goes. He's starting to turn back in. And there's that Belfast. You definitely want to get rid of him because he has fast-firing turrets. Not like a destroyer, but definitely close. Let's see. Let's see if the Belfast regrets his mistake. And yeah, not much. Only 1 overpen. And of course, you know, the Arizona wasn't, I mean, actually, I'm sorry, the North Carolina wasn't able to gain much of his health because Citadel hits, you're only able to get back maybe 10%. I think it's only 10%. And he fires a couple off at him. Maybe he can get another Citadel on him. Well, 1 actually penetrated, 2 broke. The armor actually stopped on him, so. Now this section's pretty quiet for most of the match, but there's that Bismarck again. Pop back up on the map. And is he sailing broadside against him? Oh, yes he is. It looks like everybody is concentrating their firepower on him right now. Now, if you guys are familiar with U.S. battleships, they have a lot of vertical disparities. I forgot what they called it, though. Okay, I looked it up. It's sigma value. And the USS Arizona does have better sigma value than the New Mexico. And I also want to apologize. I did look it up also that the USS Texas is a New York class battleship, not Pennsylvania class. So as we're going along here, it's actually looks like he's taking some more shots off at the Fuso. Hopefully he can get some more Citadels, because that makes it so much more fun. And yeah, so along with this, you know, I do like the you know, how they have the super firing turrets. And one of the interesting things to go about with, you know, the Pennsylvania class is that when they were designing it, a lot of the Navy's top admirals were in disgust with how they had to fit a turret in the middle of the ship while fitting boilers in there too. And that's one of the main reasons why they cut down to 4 turrets with more guns in the turrets. And looks like the USS Independence, that guy made a huge mistake coming out into being spotted. He probably should have went out a little farther, but as you can tell, the team is definitely taking advantage of getting him taken out of the game. Once he's out of the game, his planes are done. And there's his first ship that he's destroyed, and he's up to 83,000 in damage, along with quite a few Citadels he got off of the carrier there. But he's also taking a punishing himself, and maybe he can get some shots off here again at the Fuso. Kind of risky having to fire around that island there. And he's still burning. I've always wondered this. Why didn't he just use his damage repair? But he was probably expecting more of high explosive shells to come in, so which would just set it back on fire again anyways. Looking at this, I think this Leander is going to make a, between the Leander and the Belfast, I think they're both going to make a huge mistake here of coming around the island so fast to meet up with the Arizona's 14-inch main guns. And as you can see, Exiled goes ahead and starts backing up. And did you see that? It looks like the Leander was firing high explosive, armor-piercing shells at him, and you know, what a very regretful mistake there, because Arizona goes ahead and citadels him and takes him out of the game. And there's a Fuso again. And is he going to get shots onto him? Doesn't matter at this point, because he citadels the Fuso also.
Torpedoes dead ahead.
He sees the torpedoes coming in. Kind of helped that he had a good acquisition on them before they even started coming at him. And those, of course, came from the Leander. He wants to get another shot off onto the Byron there. And can he avoid them? Well, yeah, of course he can avoid them when they fall short. So he keeps his head on his swivel. Looks like he's doing a pretty good job. That North Carolina kind of disappeared there, though. Still gets shot at by the Byron. And, oh, poor Belfast. He's about ready to learn a quick lesson in the broadsides and battleships. Can he get a good... Can he citadel him? No, but he can get a decent amount of damage done to him, too. Yeah, it looks like the Fuso took him out of the match. A little more quiet. Still getting shots coming in, though. Decent hit from the Byron there. About 7,000 damage on him. And plunging fire, definitely from that Cleveland. Cleveland has a decent high arc for his guns. I believe those are the 152 millimeter gun coming in. And if you guys can see the map, the North Carolina has popped back up. And at this point, you know, the other team is starting to... They did cap B, so now they're getting more points coming in on them. And this is where things go pretty good for Exiled with the Arizona. Watch this. Low damage, low health. And I think he's going to regret that. And that would be kill number 4. So far, 4 ships deleted from the game. Let's see what this Belfast is all about. He's definitely got a lot of health left on him. But as you can see, the North Carolina is coming around. He's no longer detected because he's behind the island. And Exiled keeps track of him. He's definitely going to go after the North Carolina here. Completely reloaded with AP. He knows short range. There's going to be nothing here. You're going to fire right directly into the broadside of the North Carolina, who's of course coming up. Doesn't see him now, but he puts his ship, his aircraft out, spots him. He knows he's there. North Carolina probably doesn't think he's here. Nope. Look where his guns are pointed. Hello, Mr. North Carolina. Say hello to my 6 forward guns. And can he get his guns rotated around? Because as you can see, they were starting to go to the right. Now he needs to get them turned back around. I think the North Carolina here is actually going to attempt to ram the Arizona.
Main turret critically damaged. Spotter destroyed.
Can he get another salvo off onto him? Look at this. He's turning into him. Of course, North Carolina is not going to be able to get the turn here. And there he goes. He's got him down. But there's, of course, a...
Problem solved, sir.
Ooh, big hit from the Byron. He's got a pesky little destroyer here. And the destroyer's almost out of health.
Fire alarm.
Can he get a fire off? Get a round salvo off to him. And... well, there's another salvo. Can he get him? One shell. Took him out. Kind of risky with shooting the armor piercing at him, but he's on fire. His damage control is on cooldown. His repair party is on cooldown. And we can say goodbye, Mr. Arizona. But he did get a Kraken, so he's got 6 kills in the match, 171,000 damage, 5 citadels, and 8 target hits with the secondary gun batteries. And of course, you know, he got Devastating Strike and Confederate Kraken, of course, for getting the 5 kills in the match. He basically won this for his team. Playing very smart, backing up when he needed to, avoiding the torpedoes that were coming in from the Leander, which of course fell short. And came out with 2,400 base experience. Well, yeah, base experience for the match. So, and luckily he uploaded all of his pictures to the World Warships website. 78 armor-piercing hits, or 78 shells fired. He didn't fire any high explosive though, but he did end up with 550,000 credits for that match, especially with the premium USS Arizona. So if you guys are new here, don't forget to hit like. If you didn't like the video, hit dislike. But why would you want to? Also, don't forget to subscribe, because I will be uploading videos at least once a week for the next foreseeable future. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you. And I'll catch you next time.